Look, this is a video that I didn't want to make given that I was so big on Lonzo Ball coming into this season as well as last season where he went on a tear before the NBA hiatus, but looking at his performance in the bubble and looking at his numbers right now, and considering that it's already his 4th year in the league and a contract season on top of that, I can't help but say that as the number 2 overall pick in the 2018 draft, Lonzo Ball is a bust, which sucks to say. However, before you click off the video, this doesn't mean that he can't still be a solid NBA player. In fact, I think that he is, and I think that Lonzo has these skills to be a very good starting caliber guard. He just won't be the all-star or game-changing player we all projected him to be in 2018. Let's face the facts, Lonzo Ball has not met the expectations that were set on him since he entered the league, whether it be by scouts or his father. We all know that. Many thought that he would be a Jason Kidd type of player, some even claimed that he would be a Magic Johnson type of player, one with an all-around style of play and could get you a bucket when needed. However, looking at his numbers, while the former statement may be true, the biggest issue with Lonzo has always been his deficiencies on the offensive end that aren't related to passing or the open court. In the half court, he immensely struggles. Look, after last season, I really thought that Lonzo would take off, especially with what was an improved jump shot and really looked to establish himself as a fringe star player in the league. He looked aggressive, was actually looking for his shot, while still getting teammates involved. However, looking at this season, it seems like he's unfortunately regressed a lot on that side of the ball. His shooting numbers are down. Way down, most glaringly in the 3-point department where he's shooting even worse than he did in his rookie season, where he caught a lot of flack and got flamed for how bad of a shooter he was. On top of this, his assist numbers, rebounding numbers, and steals numbers are all down as well, and you can contribute this to the new personnel he's playing with, like Zion, Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, or even the new coach and play style. But honestly, it's getting ridiculous to hear every year that it's someone else's fault and not Lonzo's. Lonzo supporters love to say that Lonzo is the system, and you have to build around him given the type of player he is. And to that I say, why would you try to build around such a flawed player when you have 2 guys in BI and Zion who you could easily build around and see more success with? And don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that Lonzo doesn't have positives as an NBA player. He may be flawed, but defensively, he is one of the top perimeter defenders in the league. He has lightning fast hands and amazing reflexes. I'd go as far to say that he's so good on the defensive end that I consider him a top 5 defensive guard in the league, potentially top 3. He's great in transition, we all know this, and he's a very good and smart passer who knows how to get guys the ball when they need it. But we also have to see that he is a below average finisher at the rim. He's been like this throughout his career, a terrible free throw shooter, especially for his position, shooting under 50% on his career, and he's a below average shooter at best. What this type of skill set translates to is a player who is a great asset on the defensive end, but a liability on the other end of the court, especially, and I mean especially in half-court sets, because when the Pelicans aren't running on the break, which is a lot considering that Stan Van Gundy is their coach and more of a traditional half-court set type of guy, Lonzo's value on the offensive end diminishes immensely. Yes, he's still a pretty good passer in the half-court, but nowhere near when they're on the break, and also Lonzo is not a very good catch and shoot 3-point shooter, so what value does he really bring to your team? He doesn't finish, he can't really shoot the ball that well, he's pretty streaky, and his passing is above average. At some point, his fans are going to have to see that Lonzo isn't the all-star or even superstar NBA player that we all thought he would be, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that he still can't have a good NBA career. In order for Lonzo to improve this season, there's a lot of things that have to happen. Firstly, he has to change his mentality, because in games, he seems, like I said before, extremely passive. He seems content in being the guy who starts the offense, and if the ball comes to him and he's open, he'll take the shot, but if not, he'll just sit back and watch. I'd like to see him be more aggressive off the ball, cutting to the basket, setting screens for others, or just some type of activity, rather than idling and watching. He'll definitely have time to continue and improve his shot as well, and I do think that it'll get sorted out as the season progresses, and we'll see him shoot around 35 to 37% like last season. I've loved his improvement in the mid-range shooting category as well, albeit a small sample size. We've seen him look comfortable taking mid-range jumpers off the dribble and off of screens, which is something I'd like to continue seeing. In terms of finishing, he's been great in transition, but he still has to improve on getting into the mindset of attacking the rim in the half court, something that he seems afraid of doing a lot of the time. If he can add a more consistent floater to his arsenal, I think that this would do wonders for his game and keep defenses a lot more honest. So at the end of the day, Lonzo just won't be the star we all thought that he had the potential to be. However, I still think that he'll have a good NBA career because he's not terrible at all. He's one of the best defenders in the league and has shown flashes of his ability on the offensive end, leaving room for improvement. I project Lonzo to have a ceiling of a high-value, high-impact starter, along the same vein as Marcus Smart, Robert Covington, or a Golden State Warriors Iguodala, with a floor of a low-end to second-string point guard off the bench when it's all said and done. This offseason is going to be pretty interesting for Lonzo considering it's a contract year, and I project that he could make anywhere between $10 to $20 million depending on the team that really wants him. I would see him flourishing on a team like the, New York Knicks, because they need a point guard desperately. It's going to be interesting to see what the Pelicans do with Lonzo, whether or not they extend him, or whether or not they trade him to get some sort of value out of him before the trade deadline. But that's just my thoughts on Lonzo. Let me know in the comments below what you think that the Pelicans are going to do, and what you think of Lonzo as a player. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'd appreciate it very much. And with all that being said, thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a good one.